Right now, we're at election headquarters where there's still a long line of people trying to cast their ballot.
We've been out here for about an hour now when people have just been anticipating what those results were going to look like.
Now the results are coming in. Music's loud, crowd's louder.
What you can see about a dozen to 2 dozen people right behind me over at this Cops Metro watch party.
We've already shattered 2023 numbers for Election Day. I believe we surpassed that at 5 o'clock this afternoon.
Live from KSAT 12. The Nightbeat starts right now.
Boy, has this been a very energetic and busy election day. We've been with you all day long and just want to let you know these results are still coming in right now, starting with Propositions A and Propositions B, both of them right now on track to pass.
All right, so far, Prop A has 4 percentage points more support than Prop B, suggesting that some people split their ballots. Both props include, of course, the increase of the county's hotel occupancy tax from 1.75% to 2% and extends an existing car rental tax.
Okay, and then we go to Proposition A, which would allow Bexar County to use venue taxes to upgrade the Freeman Coliseum, the Frost Bank Center, and facilities that are operated by the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo. And results show that Prop A currently passing 57% of voters for it, 43% against. But again, this is just with 25% of the vote coming in.
Also, Prop B would allow Bexar County to use an estimated $311 million from those venue taxes to partially fund a new downtown Spurs arena. That proposition, with 53% of voters for it, 47% against, again with the 25% of the vote being counted so far.
But obviously Proposition A getting much more support among Bexar County voters than Proposition B. But still, both of these propositions headlining the election in Bexar County. As far as Proposition B is concerned, the Spurs, boy, have they been out in full force trying to make their case for this.
Talk about a full court press for sure. They held a watch party tonight at River North Ice House in the downtown area. Our Garrett Berger has been there all night. And it's every time we've seen you, it's gotten a little bit more raucous and celebratory there.
Absolutely. There was a lot of cheering, a lot of chanting, a lot of celebrating. Right now, you got air horns going off. This crowd, you can check it out. They are pumped. They think that things are going to go their way. Now, we had Spurs officials come out briefly. Peter J. Holt, the managing partner, saying that, it's not over, but he did seem confident in how things were going to go. This crowd, obviously the same. Now, Proposition B is technically only about the county portion of the $311 million towards the arena's funding, but it is crucial for the rest of the $1.3 billion funding deal. So this is a critical vote. It's also the only time that is required for a public vote. And you can hear a lot of the supporters going up as they think they know which way it's going to go. We've seen a lot of city and county officials come through, including Mayor Gina Ortiz-Jones, who has been skeptical about the overall funding deal, but she hadn't taken a stance one way or the other on Prop B. She didn't make any public comments and left before any results came in. But we did talk with her on her way out. She said that she was hoping that there's going to be time for negotiations, and she was excited for the results. Now, she also has raised the possibility of another election. We don't know whether or not that could happen. It is optional. But right now, you can tell that Prop B supporters think they have this. They have a W in the bag. Now, over at Prop A, Zaria Oates has been with the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo, which stands to benefit if Prop A passes, as it looks like it will. Zaria, what's it looking like over there?
Hey, Garrett, it is immaculate out here. They're wrapping up the event, and there's still probably about 100 people all throughout the Frontier Club here. They've been cheering all night long, even before those results came in. A lot of people really emotional tonight as well because they know how much the rodeo means to so many people here in San Antonio. The rodeo and all of these facilities on the east side are things that people grew up with. They've grown up around the rodeo. They've grown up around the Coliseum. They've grown up around the Frost Bank Center. This is something that is a part of San Antonio and that everyone here wanted to make sure was passed. So everyone here that I've spoken with voted in favor of Proposition A. They've been so excited to get these results in all day. A lot of them also told me that their kids also benefited from scholarships from the rodeo. We spoke with one woman earlier who mentioned the scholarships aren't just for people who want to deal with animals and who want to be part of the rodeo. It's also for many other things. There are people behind us. They're getting excited right now because they can see us on the TV. They can see that we're doing a live shot right now. This is the crowd that has been here the whole night cheering on Prop A, also cheering on Proposition B, hoping that together this can lead to a San Antonio that they want to see, a San Antonio that is invested in through what is tourist dollars and what will be tourist dollars. So this is something that everyone here is so excited about, and everyone's excited to go home, wake up tomorrow, and know that Proposition A and Proposition B passed. Live at the Frontier Club, I'm Zaria Oates, KSAT 12 News.
All right, Zaria, thank you very much. So certainly a celebratory mood there at the Freeman Coliseum, but also a disappointing night for people who appears will not have things go their way. Like the nonprofit Cops Metro, for example, they have been very public against Proposition B.
And their argument this whole time has been that Proposition B prioritizes private profit over the needs of the community. That's their stance. Our Avery Everett is at the Friendly Spot over in Southtown. That's where Cops Metro has held its watch party. Obviously, I don't hear any music behind you, Avery. When we saw you during our live stream before we learned those early voting results, the place behind you wasn't all that full. What are people saying right now?
Well, from where we were hours ago, the watch party here for Cops Metro is calming down and starting to clear out a bit. But by no means are leaders here saying that they're conceding at this point. They want every vote to be counted for people who went and cast their ballot today. They say that Cops Metro has spent all day trying to get people to the polls because they say at the end of the day, this is all about the people. The people should matter in this deal. If you don't already know, Cops Metro is a community advocacy group, and they've come out against Proposition B really since the start of this election cycle. They've taken a neutral stance on Proposition A. But like you said, Stephanie and Ernie, I mean, this is all about they don't believe public funds should be used to finance this downtown possible new arena. They say could go to better community projects. They say regardless of the results tonight, though, they're going to continue to be a voice for the community. Take a listen.
We are committed to whichever way this turns out to work with our elected officials, with our business leaders, and with the citizenry of San Antonio to create a vision that does not do one at the expense of the other.
Saying right now.
Like I said, at this point, they are not conceding. They say they want every ballot to be counted. As soon as we hear more, we're going to try to talk to some more leaders here to get an update about what happens next. As soon as we learn that, Stephanie and Ernie will keep you posted.
All right, Avery Everett, thank you joining us from the Friendly Spot tonight.
Yeah, and that is a big question as to what happens next. Now, in other news, when you look at the bigger picture here, this has been a historic night for Bexar County, especially considering that this is an off-year election. When the Bexar County Elections Administrator, Michelle Carew, spoke 90 minutes ago, she said that this election, quote, shattered 2023 election numbers.
Yeah, more than 140,000 people voted early today. Close to another 100,000 voted. Our John Paul Barajas is outside the Bexar County Elections Office. He's been there for a number of hours tonight. So, John Paul, even after the polls closed at 7 o'clock and we saw you live, we know there were still hundreds of people in line waiting to vote.
Yeah, and some interesting facts for you guys here that you guys already kind of touched on. You mentioned that we shattered 2023 in this election. Well, they told us when it comes to odd year elections, so 2019, 2021, 2023, and then comparing those three to 2025, that we shattered and beat all of those exponentially. So let's get into some of those numbers. For this election, we had just about 19.4% for voter turnout. That means that we saw 99,949 election day voters, and in total in this election, we saw 249,441 total in this election. Now, we talked about we got backed up. We saw all the people who were still in line after the polls, or the lines for the polls technically closed at 7 o'clock. But if you're in line before 7, you do have the opportunity and the right to cast your ballot. So we found out that over 3,200 voters who were in line before 7 p.m. voted after 7 p.m. So that's really what kind of delayed this process, because as far as things we've seen as issues and snags, they didn't really have much to report. We didn't have really any complaints about people wearing Spurs gear to the polls, or even cowboy, or not cowboy hats, but San Antonio rodeo and stock show. So in all, things looked very well. I do want to point out that a quick note that I thought was interesting, that since we got early voting numbers, 25% and 50% reporting, Prop B4 has significantly, or not significantly, slightly dropped each time. I don't think it's going to be enough to sway it, but we'll see what 75% reporting looks like. We'll go ahead and toss it back to you, because I believe Peter Holt is going to be speaking soon.
Yeah, John Paul Barajas reporting. Here's Peter J. Holt, Spurs chairman. This is live, by the way, at the River North Ice House, and we're going to hear from Peter Holt right now.
The community has spoken. Listen, we love this city, we love this county, and the county and the city love us back. We're ready to do something really special. It's going to help the Spurs, it's going to help the rodeo, it's going to help all sectors of the community, and it's going to be right in our heart of our city, which this is something we deserve. Our fans deserve it. Our community deserves it. We're gonna believe and execute big things, and our city deserves this.
We saw the mayor here. What did she say to you? The mayor, Gina, she was here. Talk to you briefly. What did she say to you?
We're gonna work together. Partnerships and relationships take time and effort, and I think that she's committed to that. We're committed to that. It's been unwavering. And we're going to work together to get something special done.
She has raised in the past the possibility of a second election. Did you talk about that at all today?
Listen, we're focused on this election first. That's what we talked about, and we've now seen the results, and that's going to create incredibly positive momentum for the conversations with all the stakeholders that are necessary. The fact is, San Antonio, when we want to do things big, it takes a collaborative effort. And so the partners at the table are going to be ready and willing and forceful, and we're going to get something special done.
The mayor said on her way out that whatever happened, she looked forward to negotiating, that there was plenty of time to do that left. Do you feel negotiations are done, that the deal's done now that this has passed, or could the deal that we've seen still change?
We're excited about next steps, and we think the framework is incredibly mutually beneficial to all parties, and that's what we're going to focus on and work with the city staff and the city leadership and the county leadership and all the other stakeholders that are necessary to get this done, UTSA, the rodeo. The fact is everybody's got to win in this, and we've said that from the very beginning, and that's what we're going to get done.
You have the county funding secured. The city funding, if it doesn't go to a vote, would presumably be able to follow as soon as you can get signed contracts. At what point do you think you're going to be able to open a new stadium in Hemisphere?
Oh, we take things one step at a time. I think the Spurs are known for pounding the rock and showing up every day with a positive attitude and a can-do attitude, and this was first step. So we're excited to launch that process, but we're not ready to say when the final deadline. We want to make sure that we are due diligence and planning the right way, and we'll build something that is special to San Antonio and will be beneficial to all San Antonians.
Our Garrett Berger trying to get specific answers from Spurs chairman Peter J. Holt as to what happens next now that Prop B is likely to pass. Again, those results still coming in right now as we speak, but it's something that we're still waiting on there. Garrett Berger trying to get specific answers from the Spurs chairman, and we'll wait to see exactly what that information is, but still ahead tonight.
All right, we have the very latest details on a deadly UPS airplane crash that happened earlier today, including what was on the plane.
Fog and another cold front. I'll time it all out for you in a bit.
Tragic story today. 4 people dead, 11 others injured after a UPS plane crash. That was over in Louisville, Kentucky. Look at all those flames. UPS says that 3 crew members were on board that plane, and video of that crash shows a massive plume of black smoke rising not too far from the tarmac. The Federal Aviation Administration saying that the MD-11 plane crashed shortly after takeoff, and the flight was bound for Honolulu. All flights in and out of the airport were suspended as emergency crews responded to that scene, which was obviously massive. Louisville police say that a shelter-in-place still in effect for all locations within a mile of the airport. The plane involved in the crash was carrying 280,000 gallons of fuel, and that's according to Louisville's mayor.
Okay, look outside on this election night. No issues with the weather in terms of people who had to wait outside to vote or whatever. No complaints there.
Maybe some issues tomorrow morning with fog, as you were saying, Adam.
Yeah, that's the key. Morning commute, get ready for reduced visibility. And that's going to be the case every morning for the rest of this work and school week. Now, notice right now, visibility is not a problem. Clear skies, just fine. As we progress through the night, and especially 3 a.m. to 9 a.m., we're anticipating fog and slowly going to develop around 3, 4 a.m. and then gradually spread across south central Texas. And at times, I do think visibilities will be under a half mile here and there. Now, I know this computer model is saying 0.1 miles all around Bexar County. It's going to fluctuate significantly throughout the morning, as fog usually does. But here's the key. It's going to lift and be out of here by 9 a.m. and then a lot of sunshine. Then we just do it all over again Thursday and again on Friday. Another big headline is temperature swings. We're going to be warming up, feeling spring-like in the days ahead. Mid to upper 80s for Friday and Saturday. Then our next cold front, typical fall fashion here. Sunday, the front hits, gusty winds, and it's going to turn us even colder, or cooler, I should say. Notice our temperature trend, 80 tomorrow, up to 86, 87 by Friday and Saturday. And then the bottom falls out again. Sunday, the warmest we'll get is 72, and Monday in the 60s, mid 60s. So from well into the 80s to the mid 60s for those afternoon temperatures from this next cold front. Looking across the nation, no really cold air in place just yet. So we always look up into Canada, Saskatoon 23. You see some temperatures way up there, Arctic Circle in the single digits. So there's some cold air brewing, and some of that's going to push southward. We're just going to get clipped by one of these air masses that push, one of the colder air masses that pushes southward. The core of the cold air in the Great Lakes and up north, but we'll still get clipped enough to notice that shift and change, kind of a reset in the temperatures. When it hits, it's going to be a windy Sunday. Nothing to worry about wind-wise really up until then. But by Sunday, gusts 40 to 45 miles per hour. And keep in mind, those will be very dry wind gusts. In turn, elevated fire danger. If there were to be a fire, it would spread very quickly and rapidly. Now, speaking of dry, obviously we need some rain. Upper level high, Big Blue H, it's dominant. It's parked overhead. It is going to weaken a little bit. By the end of the week and into the weekend, that opens the door for the cold front. But it's also blocking out this upper disturbance that's actually causing some rain over parts of the Gulf and the Caribbean. Unfortunately, that's going to stay out of here, and we're not going to be able to get that system to move in because the upper level high just being a bit of a rain bully right now, if you will. Temperatures tomorrow morning. Mid-50s locally, lower 50s in the hill country, so 54 in town, 52 Bandera, 52 in Comfort. By noon, we're at 75. 4 p.m., we hit 80 degrees for the high temperature. So another day where it's comfortably cool in the morning, then sunny and warm in the afternoon, around 80, give or take a degree or so, but mid-80s closer to the Rio Grande. Notice those mornings up near 60 Friday through the weekend. Then early next week, we could briefly dip down into the upper 30s.
Oh,
wow. Okay, thank you.
Okay, very good. Dallas Cowboys making some moves. Larry will talk some football when we come back.
Dude's a baller, so I'm excited to have him on the team.
Osa is talking about Quinnen Williams and big board sports. Dallas Cowboys traded for New York Jets Pro Bowl defensive tackle Quinnen Williams to bolster that side of the ball today. Dallas sent the Jets a 2026 second-round pick, a 2027 first-round selection, and defensive tackle Mozzie Smith. Williams is 28 years old and was a third overall pick in the 2019 NFL Draft. He has 40 career sacks. This season, the boys' defense is second to last in yards allowed and second to last in points allowed at 30.8. And the boys feel Williams will help them get out of the cellar.
think it's just gonna, add more playmaking ability to the D-line. Another very strong and talented guy. So I think we'll be able to use him.
When I seen that we got Quentin Williams, man, it just made me ecstatic because I just realized that it was blessed for me because not only am I able to be with Osa and Kenny, now we got Quentin Williams to learn from. So that's a blessing.
Just played him a couple weeks ago. He's just a difference maker. Ability to affect the interior part of the pocket from a pass rush standpoint. I think 12 sacks a couple years ago under the tutelage. I'm not saying it was White Cotton that did it because Quinnen did it, but around A-Dub and very disruptive. I mean, for us, there's certain calls you make. You're aware when he's in the game because he's just so disruptive.
A-Dub, as Shadi mentioned, is Cowboys defensive line coach Aaron White-Cotton, who was also Williams' D-line coach with the Jets from 2021 to 2024. And the Cowboys also traded for linebacker Logan Wilson, getting him from the Bengals for 2026 seventh-rounder. Team owner Jerry Jones compared Wilson to former Cowboys linebacker Leighton Vander Esch. Wilson is 29 years old and has registered at least 100 tackles each of the past 4 seasons with the Bengals. Cincinnati drafted him in the 3rd round of the 2020 NFL Draft out of Wyoming, and his nickname is very appropriate, the Cowboy. With the NFL trade deadline passed, the Houston Texans chose not to make any moves, deciding to stick with their current 3-5 roster as they head into the second half of the season. Now, fellow AFC South teams, the Jacksonville Jaguars and Indianapolis Colts, both made trade deadline moves, and the Colts made a huge splash to beef up their secondary, trading 2 first-round picks and wide receiver A.D. Mitchell to the Jets in exchange for cornerback Sauce Gardner, a 2-time All-Pro and one of the best young names at his position. Number 3, Texas A&M will take their show on the road Saturday when they play at number 19, Missouri. The Aggies are 8-0 and 5-0 in the SEC this season. The Tigers are 6-2 and 2-2 in conference play. Aggies head coach Mike Elko says his team is still playing with a sense of urgency.
Yeah, I think we are desperate. I tell them all the time, we have earned everything that we've got, right? We've got a record, we've got a ranking, we've got opportunities that we have worked really, really hard to earn. And every single Saturday, someone's coming in and trying to take all of that from us. And that's the urgency that we have. In terms of Missouri, obviously they're a team that's still young. This is the challenge that you have in college football today is, they're still very much alive for the playoff. This is a playoff game for them.
The Aggies will play at Missouri Saturday, 2:30 p.m. live on KSAT 12. The first college football playoff rankings are out, and the top 4 teams are Ohio State at number 1, Indiana at number 2, Texas A&M at 3, and Alabama at number 4. Texas Tech is number 8, and the Texas Longhorns are the first team out of the 12-team field, with Oklahoma as the second team out. The final CFP rankings will be announced December 7th, and plenty can change between now and then. We'll be right back.
All right, so 10:30 on the dot right now, and we are waiting. We're moments away from getting an update from the Bexar County Elections Administrator, Michelle Carew.
Talking about, I think she's about ready here, 244,000 roughly voters.
Ernie?
Between.
We're ready whenever you guys are.
Okay, well, John Paul, without further ado, take it
Ernie,
away.
Stephania. Awesome stuff. Michelle, floor is yours.
Thank you. Okay, everyone, we are reporting 75% turnout for this November 4th election. We'll start with Prop A. Bexar County is still ahead at 56.47% for. On Prop B, still ahead at 52.52% for Prop B. For the City of Converse, Al Suarez is still ahead with 52.21%. On Converse City Council Place 1, Stephanie Gonzalez is ahead at 53.30. Place 3, City of Converse, Cassandra Leon is ahead at 62.98%. For City Council Place 5, for the City of Converse was 68.51%, Stacey L. Adams. For the Mayor of Schertz with 51.69%, Ralph Gutierrez. Place 1 for the City of Schertz, Mark E. Davis is unopposed. For Place 2, City of Schertz with 69.94%, Michelle Watson. City of Schertz Prop A.
All right, so the big headlines there, Propositions A and B both have a lead right now, 56% in favor of A, 52% in favor of B. So they're both trending like they are going to both pass successfully tonight.
Interesting how there really hasn't been much of a change tonight with those results. Although
A has gone up slightly and B has come down slightly.
Only ever
very slight,
or so
yeah.
slightly, but there really hasn't been much movement there tonight. But really, these were the two ballot measures that we were watching very closely. And we just want you, there's been so much that we've been tracking tonight during election night. We also want you to follow everything that you can look at it on our website, KSAT.com. We've been with you all day following these races, and we want you to look at the numbers because we have them for you updated on our website. Still, 75% of the vote is what we have so far in Bexar County. So these results are going to continue to come in, but we're going to take a break right now, and we'll see you on the other side of this break.